Welcome to another episode of The Vlogging Dead. I will say that you really had to pay attention to the very beginning of this episode, or you're going to be asking questions later on. We'll ask those questions and we'll answer them later on. Right now, I'm going to chow down on a piece of zombie... Oh, it looks like a foot. I'm going to eat a zombie foot, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the intro. Alright, so let's get into it. The very beginning of this episode starts out with Deanna crawling to the top of the tower, the lookout tower, which, in retrospect now, there were several things in this episode about climbing to the top of ladders that I thought was kind of indicative of the general theme of this episode. Everybody trying to, like, climb their way out of this situation that they're in and trying to find themselves, especially a lot of the Alexandriites now learning and seeing what's going on, knowing that they need to become something more than what they were. Let me get back to my point that if you missed the audio when Deanna is up in the tower and she's looking down into the street and she sees Maggie and everybody's talking to her about Glenn, yeah, you really needed to pay attention because I missed it the first time. So the whole episode, I'm wondering to myself, it's like, why is everybody so concerned about Glenn? Because they actually don't know yet that he's missing. Rick doesn't know that. So how do they know that? So I missed that whole front piece. So if you go back and listen to the audio, Maggie's told that the fire never got lit. We had to keep going. I'm sorry. If he got stuck, he said that he would send a signal. So that right there is what I missed. The only other thing that I have on this is what happened later in the episode about Tara and Denise kissing. I mean, memorable, yeah. Symbolic of the episode, yeah. We obviously see the fate and the weight of the world on Deanna's shoulders right now. She's cracking, she's crumbling, and just when we think that, okay, she's having this epiphany, she's getting out of it, she's at her desk, she's making these plans for Alexandria on farming and you know, basically teaching skills and stuff, and then what happens? Her son, have to look at my notes, Spencer, walks in, drunk, and basically says, you're the reason that we're all like this. You're the reason why we're so unprepared, and you're the reason why everybody's dying. So that sends her right back down to where she was. Great job, son! So now Deanna's wandering out on the streets, and she comes across a zombie, and I don't understand, and this is a question that I have for you guys. When Deanna goes and starts, like, taking her frustrations out on this zombie, she's stabbing it in the chest. Does she know that you have to kill the brain and she's just letting her frustrations go? Or is she really that naive that she herself did not know that you had to aim for the head? I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on that, so post that down in the comments. That's first comment posting down there of the night. That didn't make sense. And then tonight we also find out that Maggie is pregnant with Glenn's baby, I think. No, we're pretty sure it's Glenn's. But that's one reason why she did not go on the expedition with Glenn when they had that little conversation. And that's also one reason why her and Aaron didn't pursue going out and trying to look for him. She actually had some sense, and I think she's going I think that she's going through this whole stage in her mind that, you know, if Glenn's out there, he'll come back. If he's dead, then he's not going to come back, but I need to protect myself and I need to protect this baby. Because, face it, you know, the apocalypse, a lot of people are dying, not too many lives are replacing those. And of course when they get back, they're at the gate and Aaron tells Maggie that, you know, Aaron could work for a boy or a girl. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, name it after me. Wouldn't she name it after Glenn? Which I'm going to backpedal a little bit. I want to talk about the walkers in the sewer really quick. I loved the sewer scene. They could have been reacting a little bit more to the water, but I guess in the apocalypse you're already used to things stinking really bad. But, you know, if the sewers hadn't been moving down there or whatever, I would think that it's just a really stagnant water, especially with all the vegetation and everything that was around this ladder that had fallen. Loved the makeup on the zombies. Absolutely loved it. Loved it when Maggie stuck her hand up inside the rib cage of the one walker. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. Did not like the way they handled the walkers. I thought that, Aaron being out in this, he's one of the few Alexandrites that, has been out in this world. And then Maggie, we know her skills, and yet they couldn't fend off these two. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that the scene played out very well. I understood the intention, loved the way it was done, just didn't love the level of attack, I guess you could say. Oops, sorry guys, I haven't been throwing my notes. There's one, there's two, and I think I threw away one of my notes that I needed. Anyway, the last one that I have is about all the walkers popping up in town, because that's just, there were so many dead bodies that they didn't get them all. And then there's the other issue about burying the bodies inside the walls, outside the walls. And again, it goes back to kind of what I was saying last week. So much time is taken in burying all these bodies. I don't feel that, oh, shoot, the kiss! Sorry, squirrel. Zombie squirrel. And yet, I almost forgot about the kiss between, Rick and Jesse. Finally, right? So anyway, unless you guys have anything else, I can't think of anything else offhand, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. In my opinion, it was much better than last week's by far. A little less soap opera-ish. But then again, maybe a little bit more. But we'll see what happens next week, because apparently we catch up to Daryl to see what's going on with him. And the episode next week is Always Accountable. So we'll see what happens with that. So happy hunting, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Oh, wait! Wait! One of our awesome friends and subscribers, Tony, sent this to me. This is a Walking Dead calendar for this next year. Every day it asks a new question about The Walking Dead. Since there's 365, and there's not 365 days of The Walking Dead, I figured that why not? I'll ask a couple of these, and you guys can post it down in the comments, and of course, obviously the first person that gets it right. The first one is very, very easy. In fact, there's clues all around me. Season 1, Episode 1. What is scrawled across the locked doors leading to the hospital cafeteria? And since that one was so easy, it's actually multiple choice, but I'm not going to tell you what the multiple choices are on that one. I'm also going to do a second one too, so just post all these down in the comments. Something fun. Season 1, Episode 1. What does Lori suggest doing to warn people away from Atlanta? A. Posting signs on the highway. B. She doesn't think they should do anything. C. Sending out a repeating emergency broadcast. Or D. Moving the camp closer to the city so they can intercept people. Put your answers down in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy hunting, and we'll see you next week.